Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today I am in San Jose, California at CineQuest, this film festival. It's my first time coming, but I'll tell you right now, it will not be my last time coming. And I've been waiting to set up this interview now for at least, I think this was pre-pandemic, man. I've been trying to get Sean McCarthy on the show from Guerrilla Wanderers. I got some backstory there, but first off, Sean, man, I gotta say welcome, and I'm glad I finally got you here.
Thank you for having me.
So I had to come to San Jose, all the way up here to see you. Cream, man, what is this, man? Cream Duran, shout out. I don't see you here today, but been waiting to do this for a while.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a while, and thank you for coming up.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying CineQuest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very meaningful festival to me. It's a festival that I used to sneak in and come here when I was like a kid. I would ditch school and come here because I grew up in the Bay Area, so it's a very meaningful festival. And so now that we do commercials and their projects and whatnot, there's a very nostalgic feeling being here.
So I want to go back in time a bit here. Let's go to those early days.
Yeah.
When did you know, or when that you were going to be a filmmaker, that this is going to be part of your life journey? Like, where'd that start for you?
For me, it was when I was like 7. I just realized I was always acting and stuff, and it wasn't like a sense of like I needed anything other than just I was always creating stuff. And then it was around 12 years old where I realized like, oh, that there's a person behind this. I've heard this from other directors too, of like, and some actor directors too, where you realize, oh, the world you're creating, it's not just inhabiting a character, but it's creating a world.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's like a light bulb moment when it was like, oh wait, there's a person who writes the script, and there's a person who directs it, and there's a whole team that comes together to make it. And so when I had that light bulb moment, I heard it like for Fincher, David Fincher, it was like Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid. He was like, oh, there's other people. It's not just Paul Newman and Robert Redford. It's like all these people. And so my light bulb moment was around 11 or 12, where I had that, and my dad picked me up, took me to a movie, and it just blew my mind. And then from that moment on, I said, oh, that's what I am. I'm a filmmaker. I thought I was Indiana Jones, but I'm actually a filmmaker. It was in that. And from that moment on, I remember literally going to the stands and getting like Creative Screenwriting Magazine, American Cinematographer, Movie Maker, and all that stuff, and just studying film from that point on. So, and then in high school, I did 80 short films and a feature film, and just been
80,
going.
80? 80
in a feature film. Yeah.
What keeps that level of production going for you?
To me, it's the curiosity and the playfulness of what else can happen, what can come from this. And if I stay curious, curiosity is linked to creativity. And so if I stay in that mode of being engaged and being curious, and then I'm being creative, I go, what else can happen? What else can I push the tools with? What's something new I could do that I haven't seen before, that I haven't done before? What can I learn in this moment that I can grow from, or can be something I've never done before? So those things all kind of get intertwined for me to keep going.
So funny story, when you talk about 80, like I would argue that's a big that's a big number, right? Like that's a big number. So the person that first handed me and turned on my first camera was Cream Duran. True story. I had a mutual friend. I had a studio. People know who he is. I talk about him all the time. So I had a camera, and I'm like, Cream, how do you turn this thing on? I don't know how to do it. He comes over to my makeshift studio in Beverly Hills, and we'd have these conversations about people kind of holding back their creative process, and we'd be smoking cigars, Cream, and we'd be talking. I'm like, and I always asked him, because I don't come from the creative background. I said, why don't people just go out and do it? Like, why don't they just try? Why don't they turn on the camera? Why don't they go make something? Even if they don't fail, if they do or they don't. And that's when Cream's kind of like, well, you do it, and I'm not a filmmaker, I'm a podcaster. So now, from when we knew each other, my catalog was exactly 0 at that point. Now, over 6,000 episodes in.
Holy cow.
Crazy to think about, right? And now we'll do, I'll do 30 to 50 episodes a week is kind of my average. So that's a long build up. But first I wanted you to know that story about Kareem. But the question is, what is your advice to newer filmmakers about like just going out there? Like when you were doing 80 films, when you're back in the day, before you had a company, before you had Guerrilla Wanderers, which we'll get into that. But before all of that, like you were just doing it.
I think, in that mindset of being curious and not coming at it with ego or self-judgment of like, oh, what is this going to reflect about me? Because people can get caught up in that mindset of how am I going to look, or it's not going to be what I thought, or there's perfectionist thing. It's just to get it out there and do it really fast and learn from the mistakes, screen it for other people, do it again, write down the notes that you learn from, and then you apply it to the next time. And if you do that again, you're just iterating, right? There's a thing that pilots do called OODA loop. It's like observe, orient, decide, and then you take action, right? And so like OODA loop, if you do OODA loop again, and again, you're observing, okay, I did this right, I did this wrong, I'll fix this thing, I'll double down on the thing that works, just like in finance, right? Just like in business.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, now I'm going to orient myself, I'm going to make a decision, and then I'm going to take action on it. And then if you do that with a film, shot per shot, setup per setup, performance after performance, then you get better and better. And then you go, oh, this thing that was hard, or this thing that I was held back on, now that comes to me easily, because it was like something that I was not even unaware that I didn't even know what I didn't know. Well, now I know what I don't know, and then now I get to a point where, oh, now I know how to fix that, and then the next part, it becomes unconscious. And so for me, it's just, if you just jump into it and don't put it on a pedestal, right? If you put something on a pedestal, it's hard. It gets harder. It's out of reach. But if you just go, oh, I'm just going to do it. So if you do it with I always tell people, make something with your phone. Don't get all the equipment, don't do all the stuff, just see how you direct with an iPhone or something like that. Steven Soderbergh still uses an iPhone. Do something like that, and then just shoot. See how you have to work, how do you block stuff with the camera, with the talent? How do you get a performance? How are you telling the story? And then now you got it to a certain point, maybe you'll do a DSLR, then maybe move to a cinema camera, maybe, so it's an evolution where you double down on things while you're learning. Yeah.
And for everybody at home, you've heard this story if you've been watching this show for a long time, but my first 300 episodes were on a phone. Audio only, and I'm like, I was deathly afraid to even be in front of a camera. I'm like, just turn it on and try, and it wasn't even edited, and we built our original audience from those core episodes, unedited, on the phone. I think I didn't even have AirPods. This is back in the day of just the cord, and you just go out and do it. Yeah,
because it's like, you go to the gym, right? If you haven't done a bench press before or a certain weight, it's going to be hard. So you're going to stress your muscles. It's going to be hard. Then you go back, then you rest. Those muscles strengthen after you've stressed them, and then they grow bigger. And then you do it again, you go maybe on a higher weight or more reps, and you grow more. So that's the idea here too, is like, if you are struggling with interviewing someone, or if you're struggling with framing, you make this thing, or you make an Instagram reel, then okay, I get good at that, then maybe I can do this other thing, or maybe I do a short film that's 5 minutes, or maybe I do a 30-second commercial with a budget, that kind of stuff. And you push yourself, and then you get more confident with working with like a team of 2, then you can work with a team of 5, then you work with a team of 10, then you work with a team of 30, and then it goes like, oh, then it's like, I can just, you're in flow state, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it's a great transition. I do want to get into Guerrilla Wanderers and kind of the business side of film, because from what I know, and correct me on this if I'm off on this, but what I know of it is I've watched you at many festivals. We're not going to say any names, because shout out to CineQuest for having us. Thank you. But we'll keep it in San Jose. Sure. But I've always seen the way you've operated in these festivals. And I've seen that there's always been, obviously you have your creative side, you have the feature side, you have the films you're making. That's one side of it. But on the other side, the production, the commercials, the biz dev, the scouting talent that are at those festivals, the editors, can you talk about that a little bit, about your process and thought on it?
Sure. I mean, I think if like linking it back to creativity, if you're always curious, you're always looking at, I wonder what this person would do with this person if they were actors. I wonder if this person would do with this person, this DP would do with this person if they were
it's like your gumbo, you're making some soup or what?
Yeah, you're mixing and you're going like, Philip, who you just interviewed, really talented actor. I saw him in another film here at CineQuest, and I was like, I don't know this guy, but I feel like this kindred spirit. And it proved to be true, is like, there's a sense where you are going, and then also the people that are not your people, you're like, okay, cool. That's fair. You meet, you move on, and you go and you double down on the people who you're like, I sense something that like maybe we never work together, maybe we do, but like this, there's a thing where you go, that's interesting. Like making the chef thing comparison is like, if you're a chef, you're always cooking. And I've been around like, top of the line chefs, right? And like 5-star Michelin kind of chefs. And if they're in the Michelin restaurant, they have to do it a certain way, a certain procedure. But if you put them you're hanging out with them late at night at their house, they're going to still cook a delicious grilled cheese sandwich, because you don't turn that part of yourself off. You can't it's not a name drop, but just a funny story is like, I was setting something up with James Cameron, and I was filming something for him, and he literally was helping me move something for the shot. And then I saw Scorsese, we were producing a Scorsese thing, and he came in at this red carpet, and the lights were too tall for him. And he comes out, and he can't turn off that part of his brain. He goes, guys, the lights are too high. They're too high for me. You got to lower the lights. The lights are too, like, I think the thing is, like, if it's in your brain, if it's a part of who you are, it's not a career.
Yeah.
It's not a profession. It's a vocation. Yeah. It's something that you're called to do. So, like, I'm just going to naturally gravitate to the right energy, like yourself, like Philip, like other people in my life. You know, it's just that energy of like people that you just go, oh, these are the people I want to work with. And so, or just the people I want to be around, let alone work with or collaborate. And so that just kind of is a natural thing. And then sometimes you go, oh, like I was at Sundance, 2 people that have been wanting to meet forever, and I wanted them to play brothers. I was like, oh, maybe you guys should play brothers in this thing. Yeah. And it just happened to be that we're all together. And I was like, I've had this in my head for like 5 years. I should probably say this out loud. And, you know, and so you just never know where those things kind of come to be, but it's an evolution of just always being open to the moment, to the situation, to the right people, the right energy, and then also not wanting to be, like we all meet that, I'm sure you meet a lot of people like that where like, they're needy, they want something that you could tell that energy, but if you're just like coming with it and you're like, you'll attract the right energy with that. So that's always the thing, is staying open to that and bringing in the right people and going like, how does this all connect on a business side, on a creative side, on a technical side? How would all these people dance together, and like what would be the right roles for the right people?
Yeah. What are you working on right now? How do you want to tee this up? What are you working on right now? What are you promoting?
So Douchaholics is something that we are in season...
Yes, I was hoping you were going to talk about season 2. I'm a Douchaholic fan from season 1, for sure.
Yeah, Douchaholics season 2.
I put on so many people. For everybody at home, I'm not just saying this. Sean gets random texts in the middle of the night. I just shared it with another person. I don't know if it was a douche baguette or if it was a douche... I don't know what it's called. Go ahead, please.
So Douchaholics season 1, which is out there on Amazon now, and special 7th episode. We're in season 2 now. Yeah. We just completed post-production. So we shot it, we edited it, and then the visual effects and color and sound mix have just been completed this year. So we're teeing that up as the next thing that we're going to do. And then we're also doing we're working on some other series and a feature film. Yeah, but so a bunch of stuff that we're lining up with Gorilla Wanderers. Yeah,
podcast douche. I'm just saying. Yeah. I don't want that role, by the way. That was not a plug. That was not. That was not a plug for me. That was for somebody else.
I always say to people, like, you know, it was at first with Douchaholics before it was out, people would be like,
can you see him though, or her?
No, I could totally see it. Before I would come up to people and be like, you should be on Douchaholics, and people would take that as an insult, like, what are you talking about? But now when the show's out, it's like an honor. People are like, oh, hey, you want to be? I'm like, oh yeah, I want to be on Douchaholics. So you never know where those things could lead.
So final question, Sean. How do people follow you? How do they learn more about Gorilla Wanderers? Like, how do they connect?
You can follow me at, I have a website, theseanmccarthy.com, gorillawanderers.com, douchaholics.com, but there's also the @douchaholics, at Gorilla Wanderers. When I came up with it a long time ago, I should have maybe thought of a shorter way to say it, but it's GUERILLA, and then Wanderers. And then my personal is at @G_Wanderer.
Fantastic. And for everybody watching at home, just so you know, we'll definitely put the links in the show notes so you can just click on them and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're doing new content, bringing you new stories, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. Kareem, man, I want to see you here next time, by the way. Get out here. And Sean, appreciate you, man. Thank you for making time.
Thank you so much.